Hello everybody and welcome to the DSLR workshop, the show that's all about photography and not about gear, teaching you how to maximize the power of your digital SLR camera. I'm your host, Steven Zeller, and today we're going to talk about how to get great prints and where you can get them from, and I'm also going to give you a tip about shooting people. Alright, so let's go ahead and kick it off. Now when we talk about getting great prints, I'm not talking about using an inkjet printer or going to your buddy's house and using their inkjet printer or whatever else. We're talking about getting really great photographic prints. Now there's some inkjet printers out there that print decent quality photos. And if you're printing 4x6s or 5x7s that you're using around the house, you're probably okay with an inkjet printer. Okay? And unless you're spending several $100s, you're not going to get lab quality prints from your printer. All right, especially when you start printing big, when we're talking about 8x10s, 11x14s, 16x20s. Okay, you're not going to be able to get really strong prints from an inkjet printer. And they're not going to last as long as they will from a print lab. All right, now why is that? Mainly, the reason is because a real lab uses a real photographic printer, they're using real photographic paper, and they're using real chemicals. Okay, and those three things make a world of difference. When you're printing something on a printer that's $500,000 as compared to a inkjet printer that's even $500, you're going to see a huge difference in quality. It's one of those things where you kind of get what you pay for. But what you might be surprised to know is that inkjet prints can actually cost you more than prints from a really good photo lab. And the reason being is because we know how fast inkjet printers go through ink. They go through it extremely fast. We know the cost of inkjet photo paper. It's not cheap, especially if you're buying the really good stuff. You can get probably 25 sheets of the highest quality stuff in 8.5x11, and it'll probably cost you $25. So for an 8.5x11 sheet, you're paying, right around $1 a sheet, sometimes even more. Now, taking into account the amount of ink that you're using, and if you're printing 4x6s on that, you're really just throwing money away for average quality prints. Okay, so what do? I use an online lab called Mpix. And their website is www.mpix.com. Okay, no, they're not a sponsor of the show. I really use their lab. I really like their products. And so I'm going to show you a few prints, tell you a little bit about how their service works. And so that way you know that you've got a really good resource for getting great prints. I mean, we've talked about how to get great photos, some of the tips and techniques that you can use to get some really great shots. And not everybody wants to just keep them on their computer. A lot of people want to print them out, have something nice to hang up on the wall. My wife likes photos hanging up all over the place, and so I use a lab to get those because I want them to look really good and I want them to last a long time. All right, so let me get a couple of prints here. First one I'm going to show you is a print that was a photo taken up in Maine. This was a tree in our backyard, had snow on it, and snapped this, and I used Mpix's metallic black and white paper. And the reason that I used it is the metallic's going to make the black and white really pop. And, that's what I wanted. I wanted this picture to really pop off the print. So I use that metallic black and white paper. Okay, it's mounted on 1/8" foam core, or actually mat board. This is 1/8" mat board, and it just makes the print a little more sturdy. Okay. I've also got an image here, printed also on metallic paper. This is of downtown San Diego. And you can see the skyline at night, and the metallic paper just kind of helps the colors pop off a little bit. This print in particular is mounted on a 1/4" foam core, so it's a little thicker. It's kind of designed to stand on its own, not so much for putting in a frame, but you can if you want, and really great product. All right, I've got another black and white here for an image that I took in the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., and up in one of the towers actually. And again, the metallic paper just makes images pop. I can't say it enough. The images just plain rock right off of the metallic paper. And last but not least, this is where the metallic paper really shines, is when you got a lot of color in your photo. This is a sign here in the San Diego area, and neon sign lit up at night. A lot of contrast in light in the photo, and metallic paper just shines really well. Again, mounted on foam core. All right, so Mpix, the way it works is you go sign up for a free account, and you upload the photos that you want to use to order your prints from. You can select the sizes that you want. You can get everything from 4x6 up to 24x36. And they have a bunch of other print products too. You can get coffee mugs, You can get statuettes, you can get standouts, even wall clings. You know, the famous sports figure wall clings that you see on TV. You can order those used from your photos. Calendars, photo books, you name it, they've got it. Okay, and the great thing is when you upload your images, the turnaround is really, really, really fast. Their motto is, you shoot today, upload tonight, we ship tomorrow. And they stand up by that. If you get your order in by 11 o'clock in the morning, they'll usually ship the same day. So Mpix is really great. Their shipping rates are very reasonable. They ship everything in a nice flat package. So you don't have to worry about images getting folded up, even if you order them without a mounting option. They're not going to roll up your prints. They're going to ship flat. It doesn't matter if you order a 24 by 36, that sucker is going to ship flat. And that's huge. When you get prints, you open it up and you know that it's never been rolled up or anything like that, and it's going to lay nice and flat for you. Really great service. Can't say enough good things about them. Check them out, mpix.com. And that's the lab that I use. I use their regular service, and I also use their pro service that's available to professional photographers. Great folks, very, very helpful, and just great print products. I can't say enough about them. All right? So when you want to get good prints, one other thing that you can keep in mind is monitor calibration. And monitor calibration requires using a little piece of hardware that plugs into your computer, and the hardware goes in front of your screen. The software shows a bunch of different colors, and the hardware measures those colors. It measures light levels and things like that, and comes up with a custom profile set up so that you can get off your printer or from your lab prints that look like what you saw on screen. Okay, and one of the other things, going back to Mpix, that's really nice is they correct your images automatically. So if you don't have monitor calibration, when you upload your prints, when they get them and they look at them and review them, they're going to look at it on their calibrated monitors, and they're going to be able to make any adjustments necessary to make sure that you get a great print. And that's just another way that Mpix goes the extra mile for their clients and ensure that they're shipping out really high quality products. All right. So that's it. That's all we'll talk about print products. What I want to talk about now is I'm going to give you a few tips about shooting people and how to make people photos look that much better. When you're shooting people, you want to shoot on the same level as they do. Okay, you want to shoot eye to eye, and you want to make sure that your subject fills the entire frame. You want the top of the person's head at the top of the frame, whether you're shooting horizontally or vertically. If you're shooting a nice close-in shot, if you're shooting a wide shot, it gives you a little more room to play around with. But you want to make sure your subject fills the frame, unless you're going for kind of a compare and contrast where you've got a small person and a big object in the background, however you want to frame it up. But that's something that when you shoot eye to eye, you get really, really great shots. Okay, if you're shooting a formal shot, like let's say it's a bridal portrait and it's a full length, you want to place your lens right about the center of that person's body. Okay, you're not going to want to be up on their eyes. You want to be right about the center, and you're going to get a very even look from top to the bottom of the photo. Okay, what you want to avoid is unless you're doing something really creative, if you're shooting a portrait, you don't want to shoot from really down low. It can kind of be unflattering in certain situations, so keep that in mind. Unless you've got some type of wide creative shot or something really cool, you can work that angle. But for a typical portrait, you either want to be eye to eye, or for formal, you want to be right about the midsection of the body as far as where your lens placement is. And again, remember that when you're doing that, so that you don't adjust or don't mess up your field of focus, what you want to do is, if you're shooting a horizontal full-length, formal portrait, make sure you move that focus point up to the top of your frame. So that way, let's say that I'm at the middle of the person, I'm not focusing up here with my middle and then moving my camera down to completely recompose my shot. Now I've lost focus. I can have that up there at the top, maybe move it a little bit if I have to, take the shot, and get a great sharp shot. That's what we're all after, okay? One of the other things when you're shooting people is avoid doing all right, I'm gonna take your picture. All right, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. That is like the absolute worst thing that you can do. You know why? Because you're gonna get an expression that's gonna look like this. Okay, come on, hurry up, take the picture. Okay, you want a natural expression on their face. So you want to joke around with them, say something funny, get them to laugh. Whatever emotion that you're going for in your photo, you want it to look natural, not that forced smile, that cheesy kind of goofy smile, all right? And that'll make sure that you help get better photographs. All right, that's all we got for this week. Thanks for tuning in to our 8th episode. And don't forget to check out our website, www.thedslrworkshop.com, where you can get all our episodes. You can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/the DSLR Workshop, and become our fan on Facebook at facebook.com/the DSLR Workshop. All right, hope you're subscribing to us on iTunes so you can get our podcast automatically. And if not, be sure to do that. Just go to the iTunes store and search for the DSLR Workshop. Hit subscribe and you're good to go. All right. Thanks again for tagging along this week, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week right back here at the DSLR Workshop. Take care.